First, I'd like to congratulate Minnesota State on a really well-played game and a fine season. We knew coming in it was a tall order to knock them off here, but we felt we could. And even after they scored the fifth, but particularly when it was 4-2 in the third, I thought we were getting some momentum. We needed something to go in, and the fifth goal was a bit of a backbreaker. I felt that one. Obviously, that one stung. And then the fact that they were 3 for 4 on the power play. We knew we had to stay out of the box. And obviously, I guess 4 is not that bad. But we knew the power play was potent. We hit a couple pipes. Badal, when he broke in once, and then Gibby for us had a good look and hit the pipe right after they scored the fifth. And had those gone in, it might have been a little different complexion. But, I thought we played certainly a much better game than a 7-2 outcome, and I think that's borne out by the fact it was 4-2 late into the third.
Questions for Coach or Brennan?
Well, obviously you guys got on the board first, and I thought you looked pretty good there. And then those 2 quick goals at the end of the first kind of swung the momentum. You weren't able to really ever get back. I don't know if you can just ask you about that sequence there at the end of the first.
Matt, you want to take that?
Yeah, we went up first, which was the plan, get on the board first, and then they answered 2 right back going into the second. And we're still in the game, fairly confident we'll get another one and even it up, but we weren't off track or anything after those 2 goals. It's just their power play is really good and gave up power play goals there, and things didn't go our way tonight.
For Coach, you mentioned their power play. I think they're 10 for 15 now in their last 4 games. From your perspective, what is working so well with that unit? What makes it so tough to defend?
Yeah, well, they've got a lot of weapons on it. Like, you can't, just zero it on one guy. There's a lot of different guys that can score. They really share the puck well, and they move it quickly. And so, obviously, there's a lot of talent out there, and there's a lot of experience, and experience in big games, too. But what I'm appreciative of when I watch that power play is how well they move the puck and how quick. It doesn't last on anybody's stick too long at all. And, I thought, particularly on their first kill, one of the things they do well is they win a lot of face-offs. And we knew that going in, too. That they're one of the top teams in the country on draws. And, it was kind of one of our things is to try to come up with the draw on the penalty kill. And on the power play, we scored on our first power play, and I think we won 2 draws right in a row. So, face-offs are kind of a key, and they do a very good job on their face-offs.
Questions for Coach or Brennan?
You mentioned the pipes. There were at least 2 you mentioned. I thought those came at big times. Do you feel like maybe if 1 or 2 of those goes in, it might look a little different, especially the early one? Yeah,
the early one, I agree. Even the second one, if because they had just scored, I think it was the shift right after they scored to make it 5-2. But the earlier one, that would have obviously, I think that would have pulled it to 4-3 at that point, and that would have been big going into the locker room in between periods, down 1 instead of down 2. But the locker room had a pretty good vibe going out for the third. Obviously we needed to get one. I kind of said to one of the coaches going out on the ice for the third, I'm like, we got to get the next goal here, and obviously we didn't. But obviously I felt we still had a chance. I wouldn't have pulled the goalie with 5 minutes to go if I didn't feel like. But they had an icing. We had Merrick, who's really good on faceoffs for us. I would normally may have wanted to call a timeout just to prep the guys a little more than what they had knowledge-wise for that. But all of a sudden, bang, icing. They can't change. They burned their timeout earlier, and I decided that was the time with Merrick, up right then. And I think he won the draw. I think we had a guy got beat off the line of scrimmage on that. But, that was the thinking that went into that, and why I didn't call my timeout. I didn't want to give them a chance to rest the guys that were stuck on the ice.
Just ask you a more general question about obviously getting this far. I know we talked earlier this week just about winning that playoff series against Bowling Green and getting to the semifinals for the first time in 7 years or whatever. It's got to be I just wanted to know if you could reflect a little bit on the season and how well you guys have played so far to get to this point. Maybe ask Brendan first.
Yeah, I mean, it was really special, especially for my classmates. In other words, like turning the program around and getting through that first round was huge, and just getting a chance to play the semis was awesome. And I'm extremely proud of all my teammates and especially my classmates, how hard they worked all 4 years. And it's just a really special group. Luckily, I think there'll be a couple of us coming back next year. So hopefully we'll be right back in the semis next year and have a better outcome.
And for me, obviously getting to the semis, and we did take a step in the right direction, and we do. You never know in this day and age with transfer portals, but for the most part, we've got a good amount of kids coming back, and kids that saw some really valuable ice and important minutes. But I thought more importantly, this was a team I really enjoyed being with, and I felt like they. Off the ice too, and the areas that aren't seen by people really change the culture in such a positive direction. I think that's what makes it tough. Is I enjoyed being around this group so much, and for it to end today, it's like, ouch. But no, this group here left a good mark on the program, and if I'd like to think next year could be a real good year for us.